Hello and welcome to the first episode of my Let's Play series. And today I'm going to be teaching you the basics of RuneScape and the combat system of RuneScape. So, RuneScape is a skill with 26 skills basically, and there's different types of skills there's combat skills where you can attack things or attack other people or just basic combat. And then there's other skills which, like, say you cut a log or burn it, cut a log and then burn it, catch a fish, then cook it, or mine an ore and then make it into armor. So on. So today we're going to be learning about the combat skills. There's three different types of combat. There's melee, which I'm using now, which has to do with swords. There's magic, which has to do with spells. And then there's ranged, which has to do with bows, crossbows, and so on. So, basically, what you want to do with combat is there's these things called abilities. Like so. You just click the ability. You can do it by setting a key thing. So say you wanted this ability to be set as 1, so you just press 1. Or this ability to be 2, and so on. Whatever you want to set it as. So how would you do that? You would just do right click and set and customize keybind. Okay, so then you do customize keybind and all that. So what you can do, if you don't feel like using your keyboard, which I personally think is easier, you can click like this to do the abilities, but I personally think it's a lot easier just to press the button to do an ability. So you have abilities. So there's a melee abilities, and then we have magic abilities, so, and then we also have ranged abilities, like so. So you can do ranged, melee, or magic. So basically, how to set up an ability bar, which is quite simple, is if you're a free world player, which you don't, basically means you don't pay to play, you don't pay membership, you would only have one ability bar. But if you're members, you're lucky because you have 5, which basically means you can have an ability bar for each type of attack. But if you're in free to play and say you have your bar set up for melee but you need to do magic, then you're just going to have to change your whole bar up. But say you wanted a bar for melee, like this. How would you do it? You'd go over here into powers, which this little thing on your bar, and you'd bring melee abilities front. So it'd bring it up somewhere on your screen, and once you found it, it would look like this, and there'd be an attack section and a strength section. What you want to do, well, basically what the different sections mean is there's your attack level and your strength level, with 99 being the highest for every skill. 99 being the highest for every skill. And, so what this means is there's different levels. For Slice, you don't need any attack levels. For Slaughter, which is a threshold ability, which we'll get into later, you need 2 attack. For this, you need 3, 7, and so on. And there's just different levels you need. So, and then there's Strength. For this one, you need 3 strength, 8 strength, and so on. So there's attack abilities and strength abilities. Neither are really better. It just depends on what level you've trained. Oh crap, I can't talk. Sorry. So say you got 99 attack, but you didn't have 99 strength. Well, then you couldn't use any of these abilities, which you really can't do. It doesn't work out like that. They're kind of combined. Yeah. Shit. So, say you've got 99 attack, or say 70 attack, and you can get all the abilities. Whatever, say you have enough levels to get all the abilities. So, say you can have, I don't know, quite a bit of level. But just say you had 99, which I know you're not if you're watching this. But each time you get a level for something, so say you have a level for this and this. What you'd want to do is you just want to click on it, drag it. Well, you want to click and hold the click, and then drag it, find your ability bar, and put it in the slot you want it. So for me, I'd put it in 2. And then this ability, which takes 25 attack, I would put it here. And then say I go to strength abilities, and I want this one, and I put it here. All the ones lit up are basic abilities, and with this basic, well, no, not all of them, actually. Let me just let this go for a second so you can understand where I'm coming from. But there's basic abilities, threshold abilities, and ultimate abilities. A basic ability means you can use it whenever. When you're barely starting a fight and you have 0 adrenaline, or just any time you're fighting, you can use it. Besides the recharge, but I'll get to that in a second too. A threshold basically means you need 50 adrenaline, and every ability you do gives you 8 adrenaline. So you'd have to do not 5. You'd have to do, I think, 6 abilities before you could use a threshold. A threshold is basically a better version of a basic ability. So let me just dispense a dummy. See, all the ones that are not lit up, I cannot do. All the ones lit up are basic abilities that you can do at any time. But this will light up once I get 50, what's it called? It's over here too. 50 adrenaline. So I'm just going to start fighting it, and then I'll do abilities, and I'll get 50 adrenaline. Okay. And then you'll see once this bar gets to 50, it will, it'll pop up. See, 50, and then all these are thresholds, and they light up, which means I can use them. So this threshold, called Assault, it basically just swings your sword back and forth and hits really high. And then this one spins around, hits multiple targets. This one puts a bleed on them, which basically means it hits them over and over, which is pretty cool. But so yeah, you're just fighting, and say you're fighting like this, and yeah, you just basically do that. It's the same concept for mage or ranged. So you have your mage, and then what you want to do, you want to go to powers, bring mage abilities to front. So you open up your mage abilities, and you have rack, which is a basic ability, and so on. Yeah, so you just set it up the same way. And then, so what I like to do is have basic until like I've run out of the basics that I want, and then thresholds, and then ultimates, which I don't recommend using because they don't hit much higher, and they don't hit much higher than like a basic ability. It would just be, and they use your whole bar, which thresholds, they take 50 to use, but they don't use, I think they use like 10%, which is, yeah, really good. So, I'm just going to use this to get rid of all my adrenaline really quick. And just ignore that. So there's like abilities for everything. And then if you go to ranged, I'll show you in a second. Ranged. Let's try to get it there. It has all its abilities too. So one ability that you always are going to want to have in every ability bar you have, or the one that you have, which is only a member's ability, sadly. So if you're free to play, some of these abilities you can't use. You want to go to powers, defensive abilities front, and then when you click on it, so like I'm here and then I click on it, there's defensive and constitution. There's, just real quick, there's some defensive abilities, and what you can do is you can open all your ability tabs, and for more information on anything like that, just read them and stuff, and they'll tell you. But you want to go to Constitution and find Momentum and Regenerate. So you just want to bring Momentum to your ability bar and then Regenerate. So basically what this does is Regenerate. So I've got quite a bit of adrenaline, and so I come over here. If I can, okay. So I'm coming over here, and then I do that. I click on it, and what it would be doing if I was hurt, it would be healing me. So it would heal you, not fully, but it heals you a certain amount for the amount of adrenaline you have. So say at 100%, I would get the maximum I can get. Or say I had 50, I would only get half of what I normally can get, like the maximum. But see, one thing, say you're like, well, this sounds dumb. I don't want to use abilities, you know? And I understand because, yeah, that is kind of hard and stuff. Well, I just screwed this up. But, I can sometimes get lazy too and don't want to use abilities. But the only thing about it is it's not as efficient. So if you look here, if I just click attack, it has these auto attacks that it does. And it depends on the speed of the weapon. So if you hover over the weapon, it'll say speed average. So this one's average. So it shoots at average speed. There's fastest, fast, and so on. So there's different speeds of attacks, of basic attacks. When you use your abilities, it's not a different speed, but it's just that it's just speed only means when about the crap. I can't think. About the what's it called? Brain fart. About the basic attacks, which I'm doing here. I just clicked on it and I'm not doing anything to my computer. So, but if I do abilities, it'll look like this. But basically what you want to do, if you don't want to use abilities, instead of just clicking on something, is come over here, and what you want to do, you won't get any adrenaline. Oh yeah, for every basic attack it does, you get 2% adrenaline. So you want to activate momentum. What this will do is it just basically makes your auto attacks about twice as good. But the only thing about it, if I have this on, you'll see right over here, like follow my mouse, right over here, you see this, and it says momentum, which means momentum is active. But see, I used an ability, and it deactivates it. So what this means is that when using momentum, you don't want to actually, you don't actually use abilities. If you can use abilities, it's just, you'll have to get out of combat and then reactivate it. It's just a simpler way. It just makes your auto attacks better, basically. Yeah. And then there's also all the magic stuff and stuff. And momentum works for any type of attacks. So, how you train all these skills is, there's monsters around RuneScape. So let's just go to the world map here. So this is RuneScape. It's a freaking big map. If you're a noob, you're probably like, holy shit. Because it's pretty big, yeah. But there's monsters all around here that you can kill to train. And we are here in the world of RuneScape. But there's safe spots, and then there's places where you can get killed, like bosses and stuff. But most of it's pretty safe. So yeah, you can train, and after you kill something, you'll get XP, and that goes toward leveling up. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I don't know. Oh yes, I forgot the whole time. On abilities, if you say go to melee abilities, there's different regen times. Like Slice, the basic ability. This one takes 3 seconds to recharge, and you can see it if you look where the box pops up and you look in the top right, which I can't hover to because it doesn't work. It says 3 seconds. The little hourglass and then 3S, which means 3 seconds. But this one takes 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and so on. Yes. Yeah, basically. And then there's also different. You can, and if you're still questioning about it, just go read this, and you can kind of figure it out, or go watch maybe some other guides, because this still might be a little confusing, because I'm not going too in depth on it. But that's basically it for combat. I'll see you in the next video.